Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lil and I am a bookstagrammer. You can find me over on Bookstagram at Sunshine Reads with Lil. And for the new year, for 2024, I wanted to kind of delve into the booktube world. I love everything books. I got back into reading in late 2021 post grad school and have just been flying through ever since. 2023 was a really big reading year for me. I got into audiobooks. My total for the year was 185 books. It's a lot. One of my goals for 2024 is to read less because I feel like 185 is kind of ridiculous and I want to slow down my reading a little bit more and kind of focus on quality over quantity, really enjoy what I'm reading, and maybe do some rereads of some of my favorite books in series. But yeah, super excited for what 2024 is going to bring our way. This video is going to be me talking about my top 23 books of 2023. And then after we go through those, I'm going to talk about some of my most anticipated reads for 2024 as well. It is a big year for the romance genre, so I'm super excited as a romance girly. But yeah, we'll go ahead and jump right on into the video. All right, so how this is going to work is we are going to go from bottom up. We'll start with my 23rd favorite book and then work our way up to my top book of 2023. So sitting at number 23, we have The Plus One by Maisie Eddings. This was the third book in the A Brush with Love series. I absolutely love Maisie Eddings' writing style. I have another book in this list a little bit later on. And this book was super fun. It was brother's best friend. There was a lot of witty banter between the two main characters, and Maisie always has great representation in her books as well. So we do have some mental health representation throughout the story, and I just felt like the characters were super realistic. Their relationship development felt true and authentic, and I just had a really great time reading this one. Sitting at number 22, we have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is the first book in the Knock 'Em Out series, and while I did read the whole series last year, this was by far my favorite one. I love Knox and Naomi. I loved the grumpy sunshine trope, their witty banter, their dynamic. There was a lot of spice in this one, so prepare yourself going in if you haven't read it already, but I did have a really great time reading it. I was a little nervous about it being over 600 pages, I believe, the book, for a romance, so I was a little nervous going into it, but I really did have a great time. We have the romance obviously as the forefront and focus of the book, but then there is a side plot of kind of like a mystery element as well, which I really did enjoy, and I thought she did a really great job with that. The other books in the series, Things We Hide from the Light, which was the second book, I gave 4.5 stars, and then Things We Left Behind, which was the third book, I ended up giving 4 stars. At number 21, we have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I love her writing style so much. It is so vivid. She has some, I feel like her writing's kind of lyrical to me. Not everyone might think that, but I just really get invested in her stories. I almost feel like I'm in the book myself. And what really sold me on this one was it focuses on family dynamics. I believe it might be promoted as a historical fiction, but it is definitely more of a contemporary fiction in my opinion. I really loved the story. I loved that it took place in Alaska. I went there on a vacation a few years back and really enjoyed it, so I felt like I was right back in Alaska throughout the book. Again, really liked the family dynamics, the main character, her journey that she went on throughout the book. It is a little bit longer, but it is a tearjerker. It'll make you emotional, and yeah, one of my favorite Kristen Hanna books for sure. At number 20, we have Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I loved this one. I did it on audio. 2023 was my year of audiobooks, and I did listen to quite a few, but this one was definitely one of my favorites. I just had a really great time listening to it. The characters were super fun. I loved the overall plot line, and their relationship progressed really well. This is definitely a spicier book, but super fun to listen to. And I'll definitely be looking forward to reading more of her books in the future. There's only one other one I've read by her, The X Talk, and I did enjoy that one, but this one is definitely my favorite of hers. And the cover, I mean, so cute. Love it. At number 19, we have Tilly and Technicolor by Maisie Eddings. Another Maisie Eddings book. We'd love to see it. This is a YA, which very surprising. I'm not a big YA girly, but this made it into the top 23 books of the year, so super excited about that. I loved Tilly and Oliver. We have some ADHD and autism representation throughout the book. Oliver deals with his autism through color theory, which I think is super, super cool. The cover, again, stunning. Love it. And it was just a really fun book. I had a really great time reading it. I was kind of giggling, kicking my legs. It was a super fun read and definitely recommend. At number 18, we have Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. Now, this book is super emotional, so brace yourself when you go to read it for the first time. I cried most of the book. I feel like it is a grief plot line, which is something that I'm usually super interested in and kind of not connect with it, but it just always hits so hard. Loved the writing style, loved the letters throughout the book. Really a really easy read, but it is a very heavy read. Make sure that you check the trigger warnings ahead of time, but I definitely recommend, and I will be picking up more of her books in the future. This is the only one I've read, but I'm very intrigued since I did love it a lot of the other books that she has, and her writing style, I just really vibed with it. At number 17, we have Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I am a Taylor Jenkins Reid girly, so I ate this one up. It is a dual plot line, kind of a what if scenario. In the main character, it follows her in two different plot lines based off of this one choice that she made in her life, whether she made this choice or she made that choice, how her life would play out. Super interesting, definitely some magical realism if you can't tell. And I just had a really great time reading it. I did as a buddy read with my friend, and we had a great time discussing afterwards of the characters, the side characters, just the whole story. One of the big highlights for me was the main character's friendship with her best friend. I thought it was super sweet, and I loved to see how that played out between the two different plot lines throughout the book. Okay, number 16, we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This one blew up on Bookstagram and BookTube. I loved it, just like most other people. Clementine and Ewan, love their relationship. Magical realism elements in this one, which super surprising that there's a couple books with magical realism in my top reads of last year, because not usually a big magical realism girly, but this one was really good. I loved the New York setting, the magical apartment, super fun. And Ewan, cinnamon roll male main character. Loved him, loved his nickname he had for Clementine of Lemon. It was just a super cute read. I bounced between the physical book and the audiobook of this so I can account for both of them, that they're very good. So definitely recommend this one if you didn't get to it last year. Number 15, we have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. This was one of the only very few Colleen Hoover books that I read last year, but I really did enjoy it. It is a couple who is struggling with infertility. So again, trigger warnings, make sure you check them out before you pick this one up. But this was probably one of my favorite Colleen Hoover romances. I really enjoyed it. Definitely an emotional read as well. Obviously, you can tell I love my emotional reads. But one that'll kind of stick with you for a while. I don't think about it every single day, but I feel like I think about this book of hers more than I think about the other ones. So definitely recommend. Love the purple cover. I'm into my purple books era, I guess. And yeah, I really enjoy this one, and glad it made it into my top reads of last year. At number 14, we have What's Left of Me by Hannah Bird. Hannah Bird is an indie author. I have become really good friends with her. I actually got to meet her in person last year, which was super fun. This one follows Zoe and Aaron. It is the second book in her Loveless series. There's only 2 books in the series, so you only have to read one more besides this one. Definitely recommend it. It was super sweet, emotional, packed a punch. I felt like my heart got ripped out of my chest, but then got put back together again. And I just love Hannah Bird's writing style. I would say if you like Colleen Hoover, N.S. Perkins, Taylor Torres, Lindsay Lanza, their writing styles, you should definitely check out Hannah Bird. I absolutely love her. She writes amazing novels. I had the pleasure of already getting to read her novel that comes out this year at the end of January. 10 out of 10 recommend. It's called Promise Me This, so it'll definitely be in my top books of this year, but as far as last year goes, What's Left of Me was definitely a favorite. At number 13, we have The Woman by Kristen Hanna. Again, another Kristen Hanna book in my top reads. This one was an arc, so it doesn't actually publish until a little bit later this year. I really enjoyed this one. It is a historical fiction, and it talks about the women of the Vietnam War, the nurses, doctors, and it was just extremely well done. Again, another emotional one that packs a punch. My cry count was infinite because I lost count, but it was a really great read. It really told the story of the women of the Vietnam War. I think she brought light to that subject very well, and everyone can learn something from this book, and it'll probably have you itching to do a little bit more research after you finish, but definitely recommend you guys pick this one up this year when it publishes. At number 12, we have Our Final Love Song by N.S. Perkins. This follows Jamie and Emma and their relationship. They are in a little bit of a relationship in crisis, that they go to a summer camp, they go back in time, so magical realism element, and going back in time trying to figure out how to get back to the present really helps them kind of rekindle their flame and kind of talk through some of their issues that they were having in their relationship. If you like camp rock, you like music, you like summer vibes, I definitely recommend you pick this one up. It was a super fun read, perfect for summer, perfect for our summer camp fans. I love N.S. Perkins' writing style, and this one was super fun. Also, can we talk about the cover? It's a unique cover. I love it. Love the gradient in the background. Yeah, love. At number 11, we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. I loved Icebreaker last year, so this one was a must read for me this year. I read it in October. I don't know. It doesn't really matter when I read it, but I had a really great time reading it. I kind of wish this would have been published in the summertime because it was giving more summer vibes rather than fall, with them being summer camp counselors, but Russ was an absolute amazing golden retriever male main character, besides the fact that there were actual golden retrievers throughout the book that were super cute as well. And I thought Aurora was a really fun female main character. Both of them go through some great personal development throughout the book, and I thought their relationship timeline and development felt very realistic. A super fun read, so definitely recommend if you haven't gotten a chance to read it yet, but if you're a fan of Icebreaker, you'll probably be a fan of this one. All right, getting into our top 10. At number 10, we have A Little Magic by Lindsay Lanza. This is technically a holiday romance, but you could literally read it anytime, and you could definitely recommend you read it in the wintertime if possible. But it was so cute. I was giddy the whole time I was reading it. I loved our main characters, Ellie and Theo. I thought they were super cute. It is kind of like a second chance romance, childhood friends to lovers, to strangers to lovers, which I eat that up all the time. This was just, the cover is stunning too. Such a fun read, so definitely recommend. She is an indie author, so on this page, we support our indie authors 100% all the time, so definitely recommend you pick this one up if you haven't already. It will probably be a favorite for you like it was for me. Yeah, you should pick this one up. At number 9, we have Queen of Shadows. I finished the Throne of Glass series in 2023, so prepare yourselves for the rest of these rankings. Can't really talk about these too much because no spoilers here. I know the books have been out for a while, but it is picking up speed of people who are reading the series for the first time. So this is the book that really got me hooked into the series. Now there's 4 that come before this, and I felt like the very end of Heir of Fire, I was intrigued. I was ready to go. I was ready to jump into this one immediately. Hands down, one of the best books in the series. So good. You meet some new characters in this one. Super fun time. I never thought I'd be a Throne of Glass girly, but here I am. At number 8, to no surprise at all, we have Empire of Storms. I did do the tandem read for Throne of Glass, and I highly recommend that you do that as well. I don't know how people don't do the tandem read. And I did the tandem read, and I still really also enjoyed Tower of Dawn. I gave it 4.5 stars. This one, obviously, easy 5 stars since it's in my top reads of the year, but I will never get over the ending of this book. I will never get over this series, to be honest. But I was hesitant on the new covers because I didn't have the old covers before I started reading the series. But I actually love these a lot. I think they're super minimalistic. They look really good together on my little fantasy shelf that I have going on. But yeah. At number 7, we have Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. This was my birthday read last year. I usually always try to pick a book that I know for sure is going to be a 5-star read for me, and B.K. Borison never lets me down. I absolutely adored Caleb and Layla in this book. Another book that just had me giggling. I had a really great time reading it. I love their dynamic. They're friends to lovers. I love the small town vibes in her Love Light Farms series. I can't wait for the 4th book to come out this year, and so happy for her that she's a traditionally published author now, but obviously you can tell I still have her indie copies of her books. But wow, this book was so cute. Definitely my favorite rom-com of the year, and I love them so much. They're definitely my favorite Love Light Farms couple for sure, so highly recommend that you pick this one up. At number 6, we have Reckless by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Chestnut Springs series. I don't know what to say. Theo is the man of the year for me. We have Theo in A Little Magic. We have Theo in Reckless. Theo and Reckless, holy crap, love them. Love them to death. Winter, love that she got her redemption arc. I think their characters together were perfect. I'm really glad that Elsie did that pairing. I mean, I know she's got an author brain. She's probably had that planned for a while now, but wow, I really love that book. I did it as a buddy read with some friends, and we had a really great time reading it. I'm so sad that series is over now, but that's definitely my favorite of the series. I had a really great time reading it. I can definitely see myself rereading it again in the future. Definitely read that series if you haven't already, and if you have, let me know what book is your favorite. It seems between me and my friends, the toss-up is between Reckless and Heartless. I love a single dad trope, but this one was so good. I loved Reckless with my whole heart. I would scream about it from the rooftops. What can I say? All right, friends, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Top five reads of 2023. Sitting at number 5, and I don't have the physical copy for it yet. Cries internally. But I can't wait to have the physical copy to eventually be able to talk about this book even more than I already have. We have, at number 5, Kingdom of Ash. I mean, are we really surprised? Like, who doesn't read the Throne of Glass series and doesn't love Kingdom of Ash? Unless they weren't really able to connect to the characters throughout the series at all. But wow, I could read, it's almost a 1,000-page book. And I could easily read 1,000 more pages about these characters. I want to read 1,000 more pages about these characters. I can't talk about anything, but if I can, I'll put up some videos of me absolutely sobbing reading this book. But I was also smiling at the end, and it was just one of the most perfect ways to wrap up a series. And it makes me a little scared for the rest of A Court of Thorns and Roses series and Crescent City series for what Sarah J. Maas could do to our hearts and souls. But I have not stopped thinking about Kingdom of Ash since I've read it. I went into a 2-month 5-star reading slump, read it at the end of August, and didn't have another 5-star read until November. So nothing was living up at the time. I mean, there's books that I've read that have lived up and they're 5 stars for me, but they definitely haven't surpassed Kingdom of Ash level. And you're probably wondering, well, why isn't that your favorite book of 2023, Lillian? Why is it not your favorite book of 2023? Well, the next 4 also live in my head rent-free. So, love Kingdom of Ash. Can't wait to reread Throne of Glass this year because we already know what's happening. Okay, number 4, we have The Two of Us by Taylor Torres. I get so emotional talking about all these 5-star reads. They all just hit deep inside of me this year and were so good. Taylor Torres' writing style, obsessed with it. I got her special edition copy of this book because I loved it so much, and it's stunning. They're both stunning. I can't even pick a favorite. This is my favorite cover of 2023. There's no challenging it. This is a second chance romance, childhood friends to lovers to strangers to lovers. What can I say? That trope is always, most of the time, going to be at 5 stars for me. And this one was just so good. I made my mom read it. I made my grandma read it. I convinced some of my friends to read it. I've added it to some of my friends' lists for this year. It's just so, so good. Also emotional. I mean, she had Mia Sheridan quote it at the top. I don't know what to tell you. So good. Number 4, one of my favorite reads of the year. Obsessed with it. Definitely will be rereading again this year. Okay. At number 3, we have Where We Belong by N.S. Perkins. I had the absolute honor of getting to beta read this book for her. It is a gymnastics romance. So as a former gymnast myself, she had me beta read it and kind of edit some of the gymnastics details for her so that it was as accurate as it can be. Finn and Lexi, love them. This is the second book in her Evermore series, so you must read Where Time Stands Still first. You'll meet Finn in that book. You'll meet Finn, but you really meet Finn in this book. And he is just such a fun male main character. And him and Lexi just complement each other so well. He's so supportive of her. She needs someone there that is always going to be there for her because she hasn't had that in her life yet. And dare I say, this is a absolute 100% perfect romance novel. Even more perfect because 2024 is an Olympic year. Wow. This is another book that I'm just never going to stop thinking about it. I'm looking forward to rereading it. The cover, again, I mean, so beautiful. All of her covers I'm obsessed with. So cute. I love it so much. I love Finn and Lexi. Their story was fantastic. I want to be back in Evermore so bad. All right, at number 2, probably a surprise to no one, we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I think this is probably on most people's top reads of last year. It was giving Hunger Games / Divergent. Loved the dragons. Never thought I'd be a dragon girl, but here we are. I read this one, I felt like, super quickly. It was just super engaging, so much going on. Loved the main characters, loved the love interest. The plot was just super intriguing. The ending, I saw it coming, but it made me even more excited for Iron Flame, which I did read. I did enjoy it, just not as much as this one. This will definitely be a comfort reread for me because it really reminded me of middle school and reading Hunger Games and Divergent. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised at this point that it's at the top of most people's list. It is a great book. I'm excited for the rest of the series. I hope she really takes her time with writing them and publishing them. There's no rush. Super fun. Had a great time reading it. And highly recommend. I feel like most people have read it, but if you haven't, you should. All right, friends, we have come to the top book of 2023 for me. Now, if you followed me on Bookstagram last year, I talked about this book a lot. I posted about it whenever I could. And it's now my new profile picture. It's my profile picture on BookTube. Happy Place by Emily Henry. I don't know what it was about this book. I felt like I really connected to the main character, Harriet. I loved the summer vibes. I think I read it at the perfect time in the perfect setting. I was back home at my parents' house. I was reading it by the pool in May. And I clearly remember while I was reading it having to force myself to put it down after every chapter because I didn't want to read it too fast. And I said multiple times to my mom, I don't want this book to end. It is so good. And it is so good. By far my favorite Emily Henry book. Happy Place. Wow. I will never, ever shut up about this book. It just hit something different in me and I had a great time reading it. I truly fell in love with these characters and the friendships in this book. And it was perfect for the summertime. I'll definitely be rereading it again this year. And I couldn't be more happy that this was my favorite book of 2023 because I called it back in May when I read this book. I said to multiple people, I'm pretty sure Happy Place is going to be my favorite book of the year. And it is. So I'm very excited to be able to say that. Yeah, favorite book of 2023. Yay! All right, so now that we've talked about my favorite books of 2023, I want to briefly just talk about a couple books that I'm looking forward to in 2024. We have Crescent City 3 coming out at the end of January, so obviously super excited for that one. Excited to see what the characters get up to, what Sarah J. Maas throws at us, all not necessarily looking forward to the emotional damage, but it's to be expected. It's Sarah J. Maas. It's to be expected. Obviously looking forward to A Funny Story by Emily Henry, publishing in April. Really looking forward to Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, which is also publishing in April. Wild Love by Elsie Silver, also in April. April is going to be a fantastic month for us. Really excited for her next series. And then also Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings is publishing in April. So it's just going to be a romance-filled April for me. I will probably read no other genre besides romance. One to keep on your radar is Promise Me This by Hannah Bird, which publishes January 30th. So good. Highly recommend. It is emotional, but it is fantastic. Then we have The Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune in May. I really loved Every Summer After. Not so much Meet Me by the Lake. It was okay, but it fell pretty flat for me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this one is for me. I think it'll kind of make or break whether I really enjoy her as an author or if I just really enjoyed Every Summer After. We have Daydream, publishing by Hannah Grace. Sometime in the summer. We don't have a set date yet, but I am super excited for Henry's story. I've been looking forward to his story ever since Icebreaker. And then we have Business Casual by B.K. Borison, releasing in July. It's going to be the last book in the Love Light Farms series, so that's sad. I'm really looking forward to Nova and Charlie's love story. I think it's going to be super sweet, spicy probably too. There are so many books to look forward to in 2024, and I'm excited to see where the year brings all of us in our reading journeys. I wish you all the best for this year ahead. Happy reading. Let me know in the comments below what book you started 2024 off with, and then also one of your most anticipated releases of the year. But that is it for today's video. I would love if you guys subscribed, thumbs up this video, and left a comment for me. I'm really looking forward to posting a little bit more on BookTube this year and kind of really getting into this community. I don't have a set schedule yet. I'm just gonna post what I want to, when I want to, really keeping that chill mentality that I also have for Bookstagram. No expectations from me this year. I'm really excited for what this year is going to bring. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited to meet some of my Bookstagram friends in person for the first time and get to hang out with you guys and chat more about books that I'm reading and upcoming releases and all of that. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.